Quite a morning, quite a morning it's been. For any of you out there in the VC that maybe haven't heard, Paul McCartney released a new album and it came out today. So, a little bit of background. We all know this, but back in August, September, I believe it was, rumors started going around that Paul was working on a new album and that was going to be called McCartney 3, which excited a lot of people, myself included. I love McCartney 1. McCartney 2 is probably my third favorite Paul solo album. And I had long hoped that someday maybe he would do a McCartney 3. So that was exciting news back in July, August, September, whenever the news came through, the rumors came through. Of course, the conversation quickly turned to, well, this hasn't been confirmed and verified. We don't know if this is rumor or truth yet. Then there were some rather cryptic posts and pictures on Paul's official site that led people to think, yeah, this is true. And then there was the official announcement, which switched the conversation to, okay, when's it coming out? When's the official announcement of the release date going to be? And that came suddenly one day, and that was, I think, back in October, if I'm remembering correctly. Very exciting day. I thought you got news in the morning. I was at work, got news in the morning that McCartney 3 is going to come out on December 11th. And I went to Amazon, and sure enough, you could pre-order the vinyl or the CD. Had the cover, had McCartney, and had a white die with 3 dots on it. And I thought, well, let me go look at the official McCartney site, because sometimes he does that with special, like a colored vinyl edition or something. Sure enough, I went over there and there's a white vinyl edition. So I ordered that. And then things just went berserk and crazy, and there was, wait a minute, there's a red vinyl edition from Third Man Records. There's another red vinyl edition from somewhere in England, but you can't really get it in America because they're not shipping over here. But some people apparently found a way to get it, order it, pre-order it, that is. Now there's a green Coke, there's a Coke bottle green from HMV, I believe it was. There's a green vinyl with a green die cover from Target, an exclusive. There's I don't know what else. And then all of a sudden there's the Bumblebee, as I like to call it, which only had 333 copies, sold out in probably a couple of minutes. There was something else and something else. I think there was an orange copy. And for me, that was just a fun day. I managed to get a few of those. I'll tell you what I got here in a second. But I was excited. It was fun. People were the chatter was all over the internet and Facebook and YouTube. Everyone was trying to figure out how many variations of this thing are there. And I heard there's a purple, which turned out not to be true, at least not at that point. Later on, there was a violet edition that was announced, but not that day. And people were trying to track down where these things could be bought and how many versions there were. And I was bouncing all over the internet. I managed to get the white vinyl, like I said. Later in the day came word that some comic book store or comic book company was releasing a pink vinyl. I call it the bubble gum. I jumped on that website, managed to order a copy. Glad I did, because I checked back about an hour later and they were all sold out. Went to Third Man, the red one was sold out. Went to try for the Bumblebee, of course that was long gone in minutes. Went to Target for the green one, it was gone. Went to HMV, I believe it was HMV, for the Coke bottle, that was gone. So I was thinking, well, at least I've got the white and the bubble gum, and I will probably go to Amazon and order just the regular vinyl, pre-order it, which I didn't end up doing. And I thought maybe I would, when I went to Target, the green vinyl edition was sold out pretty quickly, but it did show the CD, which is not a limited edition as far as I know. And it had the green die cover as opposed to the white die cover. And I thought, well, I'd like to get it on CD, So I'm just going to wait, and the day of release, the 11th of December at that time, I'll go to Target and pick it up. That's what I did with Egypt Station, even though I ordered the vinyl on, I think I ordered it off Paul's website. It might have been off Amazon. I don't remember. But a lot of times when you order stuff, for me anyway, when I order stuff on Amazon, if it's supposed to come out on, say, the 11th, it doesn't actually show up till a couple of days later. That's usually what happens. So with Egypt Station, I thought, because that had happened to previous purchases I'd made on Amazon, I thought, well, if the record shows up, that's great that day. If not, I'll just go to Target and get the CD, because the Egypt Station CD has 2 extra songs, special edition, exclusive edition. So that's what I did. I went to Target that day and I bought the Egypt Station CD with, I think it had the blue band, or maybe it was the red band, I forget which. The band broke and I lost it. So I've got copies of the regular one and the Target one, but the bands broke on both and I lost them anyway. So I thought, well, I'll go to Target day of release, because I want the one with the green dye cover for the CD, and I'll just do that just like I did with Egypt Station. And I wasn't thinking, because that's not limited edition, I was like, I'll just go sometime during that day. Anyway, then more versions came out over time. The McCartney website had the package versions of the CD with the different colors of dice and the face masks and the Christmas ornaments and the this and the that and the all of that stuff, and the 4 different versions of the CD. Each one has an extra track. I think it's a demo. I don't think it's an extra unreleased track. So I didn't want to spend the $30 packages and get a bunch of those. So I just got, they had the regular CD in a plain paper cardboard sleeve for like $8, and I got all 4 of those, so I'll have all 4 of the demos. Plan was still to go to Target day of release, get the CD. When all was said and done, and then later on the Violet edition was announced, I looked on the website, they were available. I thought about buying it and thought, I don't know. I don't think so, but so I passed on it. Checked back a day or 2 later. Of course, those were sold out. So when all was said and done, and I do feel sorry for the people with the dice. I was one of the fortunate few who got the promotional pouch of dice in the mail from Capitol or McCartney or whoever sent it. And then I saw those, noticed those selling on eBay for like $100, $200. So I kind of feel for the people that spent $100, $200 on those promotional dice, and then a month later they just became available on McCartney's website to buy with the CD bundles. And as far as I can tell, other than you've got different colors of dice, but the white dice, I don't know that they're any different than the promotional dice that I got in the mail. So kind of sucks to be those people that spend $100 for dice that they could have waited a couple of weeks and got for $20 or $30, in other words. But things went insane on the eBay with, even though this was 2 or 3 months before the album came out, people that had managed to get in there and pre-order them were selling them on eBay for crazy money. You've seen all this, the Bumblebee, as I call it, was selling for like $5,000, $4,000, $3,000. And I like to check that on eBay because I always look at the sold auctions, because a lot of times people will put stuff on there for ridiculous prices, but then you look when the auction ends and stuff didn't sell. But these things were actually selling, and I would have loved to have gotten a Bumblebee, because there's only 333 copies of it, making it one of the rarest McCartney records ever. Certainly the rarest of the McCartney 3 variations. I wish I would have gotten there in time to get 2 of them, because I would have got one to keep and put the other on eBay, and some schmuck with too much money could have paid me $4,000 or $5,000 for it, and I'd been okay with that. But the Bumblebee's cool in its way. It's not the prettiest thing. It's just yellow vinyl with these gray or black dots. I haven't seen a real life one yet, just the ones when they were up on the website and already sold out. But the one that I really wanted, the one that I thought was the sharpest, the coolest looking of all, was the Target exclusive vinyl with the green die cover. And again, that's why I waited and wanted to wait and get the CD at Target, because it also had the green die cover, even though it's not, says it's the exclusive cover variation, but it's not limited edition. But of course, the Target green vinyl sold out, I think, in less than an hour or so. It sold out really quick. I wasn't able to get one. I did check eBay just out of curiosity. Funny thing was, and I checked it 3 or 4 times over a couple of 2 or 3 week span, and didn't see many of the Target green vinyls up for sale. But when I did, they were asking $100 to $200 range for them, and I checked, and they were selling at that price. So I thought, well, I would really like to have that one. That's my favorite of all the variations, but I'm not going to spend $150 for that thing. So, too bad, so sad. Anyway, and then the other thing, I mean, you had people, as they always do, griping and grinching and complaining about, this is ridiculous. It's about the music. It shouldn't be about all these colored vinyl and different covers and different variations and face masks and Christmas ornaments and dice and all of that stuff. To which doesn't make any sense to me, because as I always say, if you don't care about that stuff, if you're just interested in the music, the regular version of the CD, the regular black vinyl edition, going to be probably available till the end of the world. You can buy that at Amazon, your record store, pretty much anywhere, Barnes and Nobles, whatever. So if you're not interested in the colored vinyls and all the variations, you don't have to buy them. You don't even have to pay attention to them. And that always sort of amuses me a little bit, I guess, when people get all worked up over something. It's it's like anything. It's just sports. I love college football. Watch it, love to talk about it, etc., etc. Like to watch a little bit of baseball here and there, a little bit of basketball. Otherwise, there's a whole lot of other sports: golf, tennis, soccer, tons of other sports. I could care less about any of them. So what I do is I watch my college football and a little bit of baseball and a little bit of basketball, and I ignore the other sports. I don't have anything against them. People like them. I'm glad they're there for them. I'm not going to get on there and gripe and complain because I don't like golf or tennis or think soccer or people watching cars driving a circle for 5 hours is pointless and boring as hell. If they want to watch that stuff, that's their prerogative. I kind of enjoy the collector's aspect, and maybe it's a little bit of overkill on McCartney 3 with all the variations, but it was fun. I mean, it was that day, that first day when the release was announced and the pre-orders were available, and people were just going crazy and back and forth and trying to figure out how many different variations were out there, and I was just having a blast. I mean, I was disappointed I couldn't get a Bumblebee, disappointed I couldn't get the Coke bottle or the Target green die, but I was happy to get what I got, my white vinyl and my bubble gum. And later on got my 4 CDs for the 4 different demos from McCartney's website, and figured that eventually I would get the regular black vinyl either in my record store or off of Amazon. I almost ordered it off Amazon, pre-ordered it, but I just didn't. I'll get to it eventually. And I was looking forward to the day of release, going to Target and getting my CD with the green die cover, like I said. So about a week or so ago, and I don't remember for sure, it might have been Matthew Street, might have been Tom Hagnotti with his Two Legs YouTube video podcast. It was someone on a video, one of the podcasts, and of course the talk was McCartney 3's coming out next week here, and they were talking about all the different variations and asking their co-hosts and each other, which ones did you order? And the green Target came up along with the other ones, and someone said that they heard that, sold out on the pre-orders, but that the Target had kept some of them, were going to put some of them in the stores. And that kind of perked my ears up. And I thought, well, maybe, probably those are going to fly right out the door in seconds if there are any that go into the stores. But I'm going to Target on the release day anyway to get the CD, so why not? Well, then, actually, before that, the release date got bumped from the 11th to the 18th, and the Beatle community and the VC went crazy again, and what's going on, and even one or two nutters even made a video that, that doesn't seem right. There's something afoot here. It must be a conspiracy, and no, it's probably just that the pressing plant said, hey, we got a lot of orders for this. It's going to take us at least another week to get all this stuff ready to have it for release, But anyway, so my plan was originally to get the CD at Target on the day of release, and I wasn't, be there at the second they opened the door. I knew I was going to have a day off from work, which today is that day, and I'm off work. Had to use some vacation days by the end of the year or lose them. And I already planned to take the day off for that reason and for a couple other reasons. But I was just gonna, I was gonna have to run some errands, go to the grocery store and stuff. And I thought, I'll swing by Target after that and get the CD. But when I heard on the podcast last week that there just might be some vinyl copies going into the Target stores, the green vinyl copies, I thought, well, I guess I better. I get up early anyway, I always have, so Target opens at 7, so I better, head out there and be there at 7 when they open. And I didn't think there was a chance in hell I was actually going to get one. I thought if any of the stores got them, they're probably only going to get like 1 or 2 copies a piece, and that other people would hear about that and be there ready to run in and grab them up. But, no pain, no gain, doesn't hurt to try. So I got up this morning at about 5 o'clock, which is about the time I always get up, and walked the dog and jumped in the shower, checked my email, and on Facebook, somebody, Adam Nichols, who used to be on VC, he doesn't really post videos anymore, but he posted a picture of a green die cover vinyl that's exclusive to Australia. And I thought, well, I wonder if those are still available. So I went looking around on Google to try to find that. Couldn't find those, but I did find an article that was about all the different variations of McCartney 3 and what's sold out and what might still be available, and said the Target one, of course, was sold out, but they did have the link to go order it. And just for grins, I clicked the link and it took me there, and it says, of course, this is no longer available, or this is not available for online sales. But it had a list of stores, and it listed the Target closest to my house, and it said not in stock. And I looked down the line, and in the DFW Metroplex area, there's got to be like 40 or 50 Target stores. But I looked down the line, it all said not in stock, and I thought, okay, we didn't get any in this part of the country. I kind of figured we wouldn't. But I scrolled down, and the Grapevine store listed 1 copy. And now, mind you, this is like 5:30 in the morning or so they're not even open yet. And I thought, well, there's Target, like I said, about a couple of miles from where I live. The Grapevine store is a little further, but not too much. And I scrolled on down, and the store in Dallas had 4 copies, according to their Target website. So I thought, well, I guess I'll go to the Grapevine store. That's the closest one. Still wasn't expecting to get it or anything. But, so I don't go to Grapevine too much. That's the city that way, connected to the whole, it's on the, northeast side of the DFW Metroplex area, as if you care. But anyway, I looked at the address and said, I'm not really sure where that is. So I looked at the map and the directions, said, okay, should be easy enough to get to, but I better go ahead and leave now because traffic in that part of the world can be insane, and wanted to leave a little early just in case I missed a turn or something. I'd have time to figure it out where I'm supposed to be going. So I jump in the car. Traffic is thankfully not that heavy, and I got there pretty quick. I pull into the parking lot. It's still pitch dark. They don't even have the lights in the parking lot on. Of course, the store's not open. But I pull up right as close as I can get to the front door and park, and I look at the clock in my car, and it is 6:08 a.m. And I'm like, oh, balls. The hell am I going to do for, an hour here while I'm waiting for them to open? So I'm just sitting there listening to the radio, and then I think, well, I got to pee. So I drive off and find a QT gas station, go in there, do that, come back, and it's like 6:15. And I'm like, well, listen to the radio, look around the car. Fortunately, I have a magazine that I'd gone to the mailbox and got my mail and left it in the car, and there's a magazine I subscribe to. So I'm turn on the light, and I'm sitting there in the dark reading the magazine. Time's just crawling. I'll read a page, and I'll look at the clock beforehand, and it's like, 6:18, and I'll read a page, look at the clock, and thinking, maybe a few minutes have gone by, and now it's like 6:19, and time crawls. And I'm also worried that this store that I went to was only listed as having one copy of the album, and I'm thinking, some other Macca Beatle fans might have seen that too and might be heading out that way and ready to dash in the door as soon as they open and run back there to the back of the store where the CDs and vinyl and DVDs and TVs and all that stuff are. But nobody's really showing up except for the cars of the people that work in the store that are in there getting ready to get open. And so finally it's 6:58, and I get out of the car, walk up to the door. Some lady comes up, and I'm like, man, I hope this lady's not a Beatles fan. But when they open the door, she goes in, she goes that way, so apparently not. I go, back to the back of the store. Hadn't been in Target probably since I bought Egypt Station in there a couple of years ago. I know it's been more than a year. It's been a while. They used to have quite a few CDs and stuff, but get there, and there's an end cap, just this tiny end cap with some CDs, and that's the first thing I see. So I threw that, and it's, I don't know, AC/DC something, Britney Spears something, Del Rey, Lana, whatever her name is, and stuff like that. No McCartney 3. And I'm thinking, well, that's weird. I mean, I would have thought CDs not limited. I thought that would have been out. Maybe they just haven't put them out yet. But then I see one little end cap of vinyl records, and there's not that many on them, maybe 20, 30 albums, and they're not in alphabetical order. They're just up there, and I flip through that, and I look around, and there's an aisle, and there's some more vinyl records. There's not any more CDs. I guess they just have that one little thing of CDs, but there's a row of albums, and there must be like 100 albums in there. And I'm like, okay, so I'm looking through these albums, and they don't have them stacked up where you can flip through them. They've got them like crisscross, so if you flip an album, the album over here falls off the shelf. So I'm putting them in order and just jetting through them. And there's, Abbey Road and The Wall and Dark Side of the Moon and Back in Black and 40 Licks by the Rolling Stones, and there's a Britney Spears picture disc, and I go top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf. No McCartney on vinyl, which I really wasn't expecting. But I'm looking around, I'm thinking, man, there's got to be more CDs here because the thing's supposed to be out today. I don't see anything. I look over here, there's some DVDs. Look over here, there's some video games. Walk down here, it's electronics. Walk down here, it's dog food. So I look down the aisle, there's a Target dude down there doing something. And I go over and say, hey, man, is that the only albums and CDs you have? He goes, yeah. I said, well, because the McCartney album's supposed to be out today, and I was looking for that. And he goes, well, I don't work over there. Let me see if anyone's in electronics yet. And he gets on his walkie-talkie thing. And about 4 or 5 minutes later, this kid comes up, looks like he's about 10 years old. And he's, can I help you? And I tell him, yeah, McCartney, you're supposed to have it out today. And it's called McCartney 3, and it says on the website you guys are supposed to have one copy of the vinyl album and then the CDs. And he looks around and nothing there, and I'm thinking, well, man, they probably didn't even get the damn thing in today, the CD. But he said, let me go in the back room and check around and see if there's anything back there. Maybe haven't been put out yet. I don't have much hope, but I'm thinking, well, okay, thanks a lot. So he goes back there, and I keep looking through the records on just the off chance that I overlooked it. Don't see it. Go look at the DVDs for a minute. Seems like he's gone forever because time's just crawling, even though he's only gone for 5 or 10 minutes. I wander over and look at the TVs on the wall, and like, man, $6.99 for a 70-inch TV. That's not so bad. And then the back room door opens, and I'm, but it's just some Target chick pushing a cart of merchandise out, and I'm like, oh well. So I go back to the TVs, and I'm like, man, that's a big ass TV. I wouldn't mind having that. And I'm looking at the TV, and I'm reading the card by the TV of it's a smart TV and yada yada, all the features that the TV has. And the guy walks out of the stockroom, I don't even notice, comes up behind me, and he goes, oh, yeah, sorry, man, I didn't remember whether you said you wanted the record album or the CD. Come to Papa, man. I tell you what, both. And I grabbed that thing, and I'm doing the, and this 10-year-old kid's thinking, what the hell's wrong with this old man? Is he having a seizure or something? And I ask him, do you have any more of these? He goes, no, that's the only one we had back there. We got plenty of these. And I said, that'll do it. And I'm heading back to the front of the store to pay for it. And I'm, thinking, man, I wonder if there's some Beatle fans crouched down ready to dart out and tackle me and run off with this. But I got it. I got the green one. And so, haven't opened either one of these yet. There's your CD back cover. I really like that back cover. And that's pretty cool. I like the cover with the dye, the green dye, just the cover in general, the white, green, yellow, whichever. But I really like the back cover. And that's kind of a theme on the McCartney albums. I love the cover of McCartney, not really the bowl of cherries on the fence, but the Paul with the baby Stella or Mary or whichever one that is in his coat. Love the McCartney 2 cover. That might be my favorite McCartney album cover. And I think this is just a really cool picture. So keeping in the theme of good covers for the McCartney series of albums. So my white one, my bubble gum, and my 4 CDs from McCartney's website. I have all my stuff like that when I order online delivered to work because I'm at work more than I'm at home, and I don't want packages left on my front door so people can run off and steal them. Not at work today, and I'm not going to drive all the way in there. I've actually got to go in there tomorrow for a couple hours for something. So if it came in today's mail, I will get those tomorrow. If it didn't, I guess I'll get them Monday or Tuesday. And I had not yet got a regular black vinyl copy. I will in time, most likely. So that is my Mary McCartney Christmas Miracle. And what do I think of this album? I have no idea. I have not heard a note of this thing. And I did that intentionally. I've seen there's already videos up over the last few days and going back a week or so where people, I don't know how they do that, but they got hold of early copies of it or it leaked on the internet or however they heard it, that have done reviews of it. I've intentionally not watched those videos. I want to watch them. I plan to watch them, but I haven't yet. And I know that some of the songs have already apparently been leaked on the internet, or there's a video. Last night I watched Paul's interview with Chris Rock, which was a weird, goofy thing, but I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Chris asked questions that didn't ask the same old, like, oh, how did you write Penny Lane? Those type questions. He asked some very odd questions, but it was a fun interview. And then after the interview, they said, now here's the video for whatever, one of the new songs off the album. And I turned the video off. I didn't want to hear it. And the reason for that, as if you care, if anyone's still watching this thing, is that back in the day when things were the way they supposed to be and still should be, back in the good old 60s, 70s, and 80s, when a new album was coming out, usually there would be a single that would come out a month or a couple of weeks before the album, or radio would start playing a particular song, or the band would show up on David Letterman or one of the TV shows playing a new song off their album before it came out. And that was fun. That was fine. But it was always, I remember when getting, from the late 70s into the 80s when a new solo Beatle album was coming out, and you knew that because you read Trouser Press and Cream and those type things. You didn't have the internet and YouTube and all that to tell you. But when they were coming out, there'd be an early single from the new Rolling Stones or the new Who or Clash or Solo Beatle or Kinks album, and that was great. And you liked the song or you didn't. But then it was also that great feeling of going in the record store the day of release or the couple of days after release, getting the album. You knew the single because it had been on the radio or MTV already, but you had no idea what else. And just that joy and that fun of taking that album home, putting it on the turntable, and kicking back and giving it a listen to the first time for like Back to the Egg or Purple Rain or Sandinista or New Rollins, It's Hard or Face Dances or whatever, and not knowing 90% of the album. And so, I don't have anything against. I mean, if people want to hear the album early because it leaks on the internet or whatever, but for me, I just like to have that first encounter with the album, because I know when I pre-ordered new on Amazon, however many years ago that came out, 5 or 6 years ago, and I ordered it a couple of months before release, and then I don't know, a couple of weeks before the album was set to come out, I got an email from Amazon saying you can download the album and listen to it now. We'll be sending it to you on whatever release date. Well, I mean, I'm a little bit tempted to do that, but no, I wanted to hear new. I wanted to sit down, get the record, put it on the turntable, and listen to it just like I did in the old days. I didn't want to be listen to it on the computer, and then by the time the album showed up in the mail 2 or 3 weeks later, I'd already heard it a dozen times, and so it was kind of anticlimactic, because I was already familiar with it. So, like I said, I've seen several people already reviewing this. I want to get my first listen or two in. I don't think I'm going to open this one for now. I'm going to keep it sealed. When I get a black vinyl edition, that's the one I'll play. I am going to open this and listen to it again because this is not limited edition or anything. I'm probably not going to open the white or the bubble gum. But so that's what I'm going to do here in just a few minutes. Put this in the CD player, give it my first listen. The only thing I ever heard was, I think there was a video that announced the album was actually coming out that Paul was talking about, and there was some music in the background that you could hear faintly, and maybe that's one of these songs. I don't know. I don't even remember how the music went. But other than that, haven't heard a second, haven't heard a note of this. So I'm going to get that and get my initial impression. Maybe this album, I'll love it. Maybe I'll hate it. Maybe it'll be in between. Maybe it'll be a grower. Maybe it'll hit me right off. But I want to get a couple of initial impression listens, and then later today, probably later tonight, I will get on YouTube and listen to some of the reviews of, I think Matthew Street did one, Ross Goodall, I think, did one, and some other people. So I'm eager and interested to see what other people think of it. First, I want to hear it fresh and new and for the first time and see what I think of it, and then I'll listen to the other reviews. So that is my busy morning. Been a nice couple of days. Yesterday, the trailer for The Serpent was released finally, the new Jenna Coleman show that's unfortunately going to start January 1st on BBC in England, and it's not coming to America till later. It'll be on Netflix, but they haven't announced a date. Always good to have a new Jenna Coleman show. She's cute as a button. Always good to have a new McCartney album. And at this point, I consider it, he's 78. I consider it icing on the cake. I hope it's good. I mean, I'm not hoping for a bad album. But at this point, I really don't care. He's not going to make another Rubber Soul or Ram. Stranger things have happened. I can't think of anything, but I'm 99% sure that's not going to be. So I hope this is good, or at least halfway decent. If it's not, it's not. I'm just glad he's still around and still making albums, and I'm excited, and I'm very excited to have gotten what is my favorite variation of the album. So, and didn't have to pay 150 bucks to do it. And I did check when I got back that the store I bought this from brought up the Target website again, and it said out of stock. So I got the one copy, and that's it. And there was one store that had a couple left when I checked this before making this video. So that's 35 minutes of me talking about a McCartney album that I haven't heard. Kind of crazy and ridiculous, but that was my fun, exciting McCartney release day morning. And now I'm going to go and listen to the album. And I might be back later today with a video of some pickups that are don't have anything to do with McCartney. So, getting close to Christmas. Hope everybody's having a good Advent Christmas holiday season and getting ready for it, for a Merry Christmas. And I will talk to you all later. I'm going to listen to this album. Bye-bye.